Konnichiwa everybody, welcome back. Something a bit different this week. Thought I'd go right back to the beginning of time and talk about the mighty ZX Spectrum and part of my collection for it. Not something I've talked about much on the channel, and I suppose there's lots of people who couldn't give a monkey's about it, so I apologise. If you're not interested in Spectrum, you might not want to sit through this rubbish. I've collected, my philosophy with the Spectrum, I mean, it's brilliant. I had one when I was a kid, loved it, amazing. But predominantly I've bought what I had memories of as a kid. I haven't sort of gone out my way to experience new stuff, you know, in modern times particularly. All the stuff I've collected over the years is primarily what I had at the time, or what I played at the time, or maybe what I wanted at the time and never got round to buying, because, you know, in your kid pocket money you couldn't buy very many games, could you? And I mean, they're not my original games, obviously. That went, you know, many years ago, obviously, like we all sold up. I predominantly collected these maybe, I don't know, 7-8 years ago. That's when I got the vast majority of these. So there's too many to do in one video. So I think what I'm going to do like the big box games in this episode, and then I might do a secondary episode, unless like 2 people watch, then I won't bother. Where I might do like the small box games after I've done the big box games here, and then I could possibly do another one then with like cardboard box style compilations and that kind of stuff. We'll see how we get on. Anyway, not going to hang about because there's lots to get through. Start with the clamshell games. We've got Brian Jack's Superstar Challenge. This used to be on the TV when I was a kid, used to love it. Brian Jack Superstars. Like a multi-event sports games, I remember. Loads of these I ain't played in donkey's years. Can't remember what this is like. Eddie Kidd Stunt Challenge. It's on the same Martech label as Brian Jack's, which also is the case for Jeff Cape's Strongman. Again, another multi-event sports game in the Daley Thompson's Decathlon mould, but it's kind of nice to have the set of 3 really. Do like these clamshells really, and these I do like these boxes. We've got Sega Tapper, which is a cracking arcade game, root beer tapper, and then we've also got Sega's Spy Hunter. Like I say, I do like these clamshell boxes, and the Sega ones in particular are nice as well. I remember playing this when I was a kid. Southern Belle. It's like a train simulator, as I remember. I'd imagine it's terrible now, but this was epic at the time. Ye Are Kung Fu. What an amazing game this was at the time. Absolutely loved it. Plus, it's an Imagine game, and I've got a soft spot for Imagine games. I could see me going down that rabbit hole a bit more, to be honest. Loved this game back in the day. 3 Weeks in Paradise. Very much in the Digimold Dave, I would have to say. But cracking game. I remember me and my mate completed that using a guide thing in a Sinclair user or something of that nature. Then we've got Space Harrier, another amazing arcade game. Couldn't wait to get this on the Spectrum. Not a bad game, to be fair, as I remember. I don't remember this one. I remember the box. Indoor sports. Looks like it's got ping pong, air hockey, darts and 10-pin bowling. I'm guessing they're not the Spectrum screenshots. Another classic. Saboteur. Haven't they redone this on modern consoles? I don't know. But you're that ninja dude and you've got to escape in the helicopter, and it was a classic at the time. This one I picked up quite recently actually. The Pyramid. I've been after this for ages. Real cracking little shooter this. Brilliant little game. Kind of in the jetpack mould really, but real good game. Right, that's all the clamshell games. Right, we'll do, I think. Yeah, we'll do these. Obviously, stalwarts of the Spectrum, ultimate play of the game, which went on to become rare, obviously. And I tried to get a full set of them for the Spectrum. Unfortunately, there was a couple which are stupid money, and I'm not paying it. Anyway, we've got Sabrewulf. Unfortunately, the condition of this box is not great. I would like to upgrade this really. I mean, it's all complete and everything, but unfortunately, it's a bit crushed and I don't know. It looks it's suffered from damp or something, I think. They're all similar isometric style or top-down sort of adventure games. In that we've got Night Law. All the others are in nice nick. All complete, as I remember. Yeah. We've got Nightshade, Underworld, and Alien 8. Which is Alien 8, isn't it? Yeah. And then, in a similar, another ultimate play of the game, we've got Wanted Gunfighter. No, sorry, Gunfight, Dead or Alive. Some idiots folded the inlay up on this for some reason. But I did have that back in the day. I didn't have all those cardboard box games, to be honest. But I did have Gunfight. I also had Bubbler, which is now it's so expensive, and one of the two I haven't got. But I had that back in the day. I probably bloody threw it away or give it away or something, but I'll never own it again now. Right, we're on to the double jewel case games now, which is the bulk of the this big box collection, to be honest. Saboteur 2, obviously the sequel to the original. I think they're escaping about in this one. I never actually remember playing this back in the day. And then we've got the fantastic Slap Fight. I got this quite recently as well. This seems to go for a bit of money now. It's in nice condition as well, this one. And I've got to say, the Ocean and Imagine boxes, they're just so nostalgic to look at. I absolutely love them. You know, if I can understand people buying a full set of these because they look awesome. Like Dave's got his Bob Wakeling stuff. It just looks amazing. I love his display. It looks brilliant. I think of all the Specky games, it's the Ocean and Imagine ones that really fire my nostalgia, and I could see myself buying more of them, even though games that I didn't have or want at the time. Another one I got fairly recently, Alternative World Games, Gremlin title. This is another multi-sport, wacky, mad events. Really enjoyed playing that at the time. It's alright, I suppose, nowadays, but obviously things have moved on, haven't they? Right, then we've got Football Manager 2. Not the kind of game I'd play really, but I remember playing the first one back in the day and I thought it was brilliant at the time. So that's why I picked up the second one, because I think I've got the first one as well, but that'll come in a future episode because that's in a small box. Then we've got The Empire Strikes Back. I don't remember playing this. I used to have the Commodore version, which was alright as I remember. Anyway, Empire Strikes Back. Then we've got the all-time classic, World Games. I must admit, it's this kind of thing I kind of wish I'd kept the Commodore for, because they're brilliant for these epics games. That's one of the ones I wished I'd still got a Commodore for, really. Then we've got Tempest. Love this game. Well, the original. I can't remember what this one's like. But I love the arcade and the Jag version. An Electric Dreams game, this one. A bit random because it's, you know, a landscape cover rather than portrait. Then we've got Jet Bike Simulator. Now I really did quite like this at the time. It's got a $2.99 price label on top because it was originally $4.99, wasn't it, when they came out, these big box Codemasters games. But I just love the Codemasters artwork. And I think there's another big box one, because I remember Paul, Mr. Bads, saying in his recent video there's a, is it BMX Simulator, there's a big box up as well. Then we've got Way the Exploding Fish 2. Again, love the original. That's what was desperate for this at the time. I haven't played it in years, I forgot what it's like now, but I remember it not being as good as the first one. Then we've got, this is an Elite combo pack, the Elite 6-pack, I think it's Elite. International Karate Shockwave, oh no, that's not an Elite game. No, it must just be a random compilation. Anyway, we've got Ace, Light Force, Into the Eagle's Nest, Shockwave Rider, which is really good actually. International Karate and Batty, which is really good Arkanoid, Breakout Clone. So that's a nice little pack really. We've got another pack here. I remember having this or borrowing this at the time. Arcade Hall of Fame. And we've got Raid, Blue Max, Rocco, Flak and Hunchback 2. I can't remember anything about them except Hunchback 2, which is a classic. There's a lot of these at the time, you know, I'm sure we all had them. We had the rare C15 variants of many of these. So it's kind of nice, you know, all these years later, to get the actual full version rather than the now somewhat rarer C15 version. Anyway, next one we've got is Trailblazer, which is another Gremlin title. And I seem to remember this is alright. You've got to negotiate the ball across the playfield with all kind of obstacles. It was done in a few different ways, that kind of thing. But decent as I remember. Now we've got the all-time classic, Bullseye. One of the best TV shows ever made for me. Absolutely love it. To this day, get yourself onto Challenge late at night. Awesome. I'm not sure it translated that well to the Spectrum, to be honest. And this, we've now got Impossible, which is a nice Houston box. These are quite nice as well, I think. But it's another one of these negotiate the ball to the end of the level, avoiding the obstacles kind of game. But again, that's another one I had back in the day. Let's have a drink. Right. Now this world-class leaderboard. This is miles better on the C64. Brilliant on the Commodore. I mean, it's still good on the Spectrum, but the Commodore is definitely better. And again, it's one of them I wished I'd kind of kept a Commodore for. Brilliant, brilliant golf game at the time. So good. World-class leaderboard. Right. Now I quite like these US goal boxes as well. We've got Roadrunner, which I think is an arcade conversion, as I remember right. And this was $9.99 from John Menzies. I don't think this was much good as I remember, but it's got a nice box. In a similar vein, now I did like this at the time. 720 degrees skateboarding game. You just roam around and then you go into the various parks to do different kind of stunts on half pipes and all that kind of stuff. Really cool. And this is another one like Outrun that came with the arcade soundtrack, which unfortunately is missing. But nevertheless, 720. Oh, then we've got a classic, Gauntlet. Great game on the Spectrum. Probably is on other formats as well. I only ever played the Spectrum version. But what a classic. Now we've got another Epyx game, Winter Games, much like World Games and Summer Games. Only winter events, another classic. Now, I don't remember playing this one, to be honest. Rygar. I don't know if I might have got this in a bundle when I bought something else I wanted. I think it's kind of a run and gun, or run and hack and slash type platform game, isn't it? It was on arcade. I mean, I need to fire that up. I can't remember a thing about the Spectrum version. One of my all-time favourites. Now this is another one I wished I'd kept the Commodore for, because this is probably my favourite game on the Commodore 64. That's Buggy Boy. Love this game. It's still good on the Speccy, but I think the Commodore is definitely the best version. But an absolute classic. Couldn't tell you the last time I saw the arcade machine. Absolutely phenomenal. Brilliant, brilliant game. Love it. Another classic, Bomb Jack 2. I mean, the first one's amazing, and again I've got that in the small box original. But I don't think this second one was as good, to be honest. But you had to have it, didn't you? Came with the. Apparently, this comes with the original Bomb Jack as well. I don't know if mine does. Oh yeah. Bomb Jack's on one side and Bomb Jack 2 is on the other. And then we've got the classic Paperboy, another Elite game. Real local firm that was at the time, based in Aldridge, wasn't it? That was $9.95 from Boots, that one. Now this was epic on the Spectrum, and a brilliant arcade conversion. You got Super Hang-On. I remember this coming out about the same time as Outrun. And I'm sure my brother had this, and I had Outrun, obviously. But this is an almighty good conversion on the Spectrum. Great game, absolute classic. And there we come to the aforementioned Outrun. Obviously, the most eagerly anticipated game I've ever waited for in my life. It was so amazing to play it at home at the time after you'd been playing it in the arcade. Unfortunately, I mean, as good as the Spectrum version was at the time, it was brilliant. The graphics were fantastic, but it moves like you're stuck in treacle with a handbrake on. Unfortunately, because it looks brilliant. But all the versions are so different of the home computers. All got their own pluses and minuses, and there ain't really an amazing one between them, in my opinion. But you had to have it, didn't you? Especially when it came with the soundtrack cassette as well, which I have got in that one. Don't remember. This must have come in a bundle. I don't think I've ever tried it. It looks terrible on the back. TT Racer. I think, is this? Yes. This is one of these that come with the stupid thing for, to combat the C15 variants. You had to have that to get the game to play. Right, oh, another absolute classic. Activision label this time. We've got Sega's Wonder Boy. And of course the old naughty trick on the back. You're buying a Spectrum game, but are they Spectrum screenshots? I think not. Nevertheless, I remember it being quite good actually. Same with this really. Marble Madness. I've got a feeling I had this. I used to be in one of them computer clubs where you bought a game every month, or I've got a feeling I had that out of one of those. A Melbourne House title. And then we've got another classic on the Firebird label, but this is obviously a full price game. We've got Flying Shark, and this is really good on the Spectrum, if memory serves me right. Classic vertical shooter. And then we've got James Bond 007 Live and Let Die, which is basically speedboat. I wouldn't call it racing, kind of speedboat combat. very average. But I mean, I'm a big Bond fan, so I did start trying to buy all the Bond games, but I gave up on that long ago. And we've got the Living Daylights. I think this is a side-scrolling action run and gun style game, if memory serves me right. Can't remember if it was any good or not, to be honest. Now this is a brilliant compilation. Konami's coin-op hits. Some stellar games on here. Green Beret, awesome but just so difficult. Mikey, really good, like a set in a school. Ye Are Kung Fu, as I mentioned earlier, fantastic game. Hypersports itself, fantastic multi-event sports game. And then you've got Ping Pong, which is ping pong. But again, all really, really good. So you can't go wrong with that compilation, to be honest. Then we've got, this is mega on the spectrum, Enduro Racer, again on the Activision label. This is much like Super Hang-On, phenomenally good on the spectrum. This is brilliant. By far, even to this day, I would say, it's the best home conversion of Outrun. Enduro Racer. I'm not obsessed with Outrun, honestly. It's by far the best home conversion of Enduro Racer in my opinion. It looks stunning and plays well. It's obviously monochrome, but it's a brilliant conversion on the spectrum. Right, we're into my favourite section now. We're on the home stretch. We're on to the Ocean and Imagine titles. Just love these boxes. Even though, like I've said, I could buy these just for the boxes, to be honest. Love them. We've got Run the Gauntlet, which I really liked at the time when it came out. So I used to love the TV show when I was a kid. So to play on the Specky at the time was brilliant. Another multi-event kind of driving game and sort of assault course sections as well. Not too bad nowadays. I mean, it's not as good as it was. Then we've got Nightmare Rally. Just look at the covers. I'm guessing these are Ocean, obviously. I'm guessing that's Bob Wakelin. I don't know. I'm not the expert, Davies. But this is really quite good, as I remember. It's an into the screen sort of 3D racer, but you can sort of see through the cars to sort of get around what the Spectrum was capable of, I suppose. But I do remember that being really quite good for the time and what it was running on. Combat School, again another multi-sports event game set in the army this time, like an army training school, if you like. Really good, but this gets hard. Sorry, if I remember right, you've got to clear one event to get to the next. $7.95 from W.H. Smith's. But yeah, I used to love that at the time, Combat School. Then we've got another one. I don't remember what this is like, to be honest, but another classic 80s TV show that I used to love, Street Hawk. I remember thinking his motorbike was so cool, but look at it now, man. It's a right bag of scrap. I can't remember what kind of game this is even. You'd imagine it's some kind of driving game, but I've no idea. And now we've got a classic. This is an epic cover. We've got Batman. Absolutely beautiful. And this is an isometric game, isn't it? Like head over heels. Then we've got the awesome Donkey Kong. I'm guessing that's in the wrong box. I think that should be in a black back. Yeah, I'd imagine it should be in a black case, that one. But just lovely artwork, look. And then we've got, well, these two are kind of together really. We've got Where Time Stood Still. I think this is 128 only, isn't it? Yeah. Again, another kind of 3D environment, adventure style game. Again, what a lovely box. I think it was the sequel to The Great Escape, which obviously is an escape from a prisoner of war camp. I used to like it, but I never got anywhere on it. I couldn't do it at the time. But it looked nice. And then we've got the classic Head Over Heels. Again, isometric adventure platform style game where you control both characters and each can do slightly different things. A classic. I loved this game at the time. Taipan. Sort of high seas adventure, and you could get in your ship and sail to different sort of countries and towns. But there used to be a wicked gambling game I got addicted to on this. It used to be amazing, and you should gamble at this sort of illicit den in the towns, and you could earn the money to, you know, buy better stuff for your ship. And I used to love it. And there's some classic music on that, as I remember as well. Right, then we've got the Solus Green Beret. Again, just look at the boxes, just like the ocean stuff. The Imagine is just as nice. I think this is in the wrong box as well. It should be in another black case. But fantastic game, just mega difficult. This is one I had back in the day because I was well into my golf games, and I still like an arcade golf game, to be fair. But this was kind of after I'd played Leaderboard, I think. So Konami Golf. And then we've got Yie Ar Kung Fu 2, which again, much like Way of the Exploding Fist, I seem to remember the original was better than the second one. I need to play these again because I can't remember half of them. It's been that long. I don't think I've played them since I bought them and tested them, to be honest. We've got the best game on the Spectrum now. Renegade. Phenomenal game. Looks and sounds amazing on the 128 with the music. By far the best conversion. I'd say it's better than the arcade, to be honest. You know, obviously colourful graphics aside, this is better than the arcade game. It's better than the Master System game by far. It's better than the NES game by far. It's better than the C64 and the Amstrad versions by far. It's epic, and look at the box. It's just absolutely stunning. What a game, honestly. Without doubt, the best game on the Spectrum. And then we've got the sequel, Target Renegade, which a lot of people think is better than the original. I don't, but each to their own. Where was this one from? Boots, $7.95. Who remembers the happy days of buying games in Boots? Oh, what times! What a time to be alive. Target Renegade. We're nearly there. Then we've got the, unfortunately, a bit of a turd, the third game, which for some bizarre reason they thought that set in prehistoric times and you would be fighting dinosaurs. Don't know what drugs that took that day they decided on that course of action, but nevertheless, it's nice to have the set. And then we've got another arcade conversion. We've got Athena. This is an SNK game, sort of early platform hack and slash style game. Looks quite nice on the Spectrum, I've got to say. I think it was my mate up the street who bought this, and I played this at his house at the time. But it's a nice one, Athena. And then we've got the last two I've got in big box dual cases. We've got the almighty good Arkanoid. What a fantastic game. Spent hours on this at the time, absolutely love it. And it's still a great game to this day. I think only bettered by the sequel, Revenge of Dow. This is so good, honestly. It's still brilliant today. You know, you can get this on the Super Nintendo, which is a great version. I sold mine on the SNES some time ago, wished I'd kept it. But yeah, what a brilliant game. Arkanoid and Arkanoid 2, The Revenge of Dow. and that's the entirety of my big box dual case Spectrum games. Like I say, I'm not on the hunt for that many, but there are some more I would like that I've, you know, I don't go out looking for them, but if I happen to chance across them, I add one or two now and then. But there are a few I'd still like to get. And like I say, those Ocean and Imagine boxes, I could quite easily, you know, fall down the hole of buying lots of them just because they're so nice. But thanks for watching anyway, if you're still with me. If you're a Spectrum fan, you might be. Anybody else probably isn't. But thanks for watching. Depending on how many people watching, you know, positive, leave a positive comment about the Spectrum. I might do the small box games I've got. But we'll see. Thanks for watching anyway. We'll see you soon. Sayonara.